Oh my god, I'm actually really ill, so I'm sorry if I sound like just a loser. And so 2016 won't have oh god, I can't say this word. Hi guys, this video is going to be about the UK Clinical Aptitude Test, the UKCAT, and I'm just going to be talking about what it is and give you some tips on how to get through it really. I haven't made videos on getting into dental school in a while. It's because I've been at uni and I haven't really had the time, so I thought I'd do it now, and because it's summer holidays now, hopefully I can keep up to date. So like I said, the UKCAT is a UK Clinical Aptitude Test. Some universities don't require it, but most do, so I'll put a link down below for the student room. A lot of you have asked me what the entry requirements are for universities, and it's all on the website, so I'll put a link down below. Also, different universities have different cut-off points, so you have to go on the university website and it might say it there, or you have to give them a ring, and the cut-off points do change every year depending on how the exam was. So I've taken the UKCAT twice. The first time was in 2013 and I got 730. And the second time was in 2015 and I got 680. The first one I did had situational judgment, but it wasn't being marked, it was just being trialled. And the second time I did it, it had all 5 of the things. 2016 won't have decision analysis, so you can check out the website for more information. I'll put the link down below for that as well. If you've done your driving theory test, it's in the same place as that. So it's the same process. You need to bring your ID. Don't forget your ID. Inside you have a computer, you get earbuds, you get a whiteboard and a pen to write with, and you get instructions on the screen before you start and a minute or two to read them as well. So there are 5 categories altogether. For verbal reasoning, you have a passage and a few questions related to it. You have the options true. On the basis of the information in the passage, the statement is true, and false. On the basis of the information in the passage, the statement is false. And can't tell, so you can't tell from the information in the passage whether the statement is true or false. Tips for this one would be read the question first and then skim through the passage and see if it supports or opposes what you've just read, or if you can't tell. You don't have much time, so you really need to read fast. Don't doubt yourself, and if you don't know the answer, just guess and move on. Okay, so the next one is quantitative reasoning. It's a bunch of math questions that are not easy. So you get a calculator that's on the computer screen and it's really basic. So they're not looking for you to do some crazy maths. I think it's more about how you do mental maths under timed conditions and under pressure. Tips for this one, I would say practice questions using the calculator on your computer, like the one they give you in the actual thing, because clicking on the screen on the calculator actually takes away valuable time that you can't afford to lose. Also, speaking of valuable time, rely more on mental maths. You don't want to waste time using a calculator when you could have done that in your head. So this means you need to practice your technique, so you don't have to use the calculator for everything, and so you know how to answer a certain type of question when you see it. Also, don't dwell on one question. This is like a given for all of them. If you don't know how to answer it, just move on and you can come back to it at the end. Next one is abstract reasoning. For some reason I did really well in this one. I don't know how. I just managed to work out what the trick is, or I just got lucky. So you get set A and B, and the aim is to look for a pattern in each of the sets. Then you're given test questions and asked if they belong to set A, B, or neither. The tips I would give for this one is, as soon as you get onto the section, take your whiteboard and write down the scans. S stands for shape, so the type of shape and how many sides it has, etc. C stands for colour, so it's the shading, the type of shading, the different shapes that are coloured in, and the number of different shapes that are coloured in. A stands for angles, so if they're right angles or acute or obtuse, you just have to kind of spot that. N stands for number, so the number of shapes, the number of spaces, the number of lines, the number of sides. And S stands for symmetry, and you know what symmetry means. Scans are basically the compound rules that you need to identify. If you have the list in front of you, it'll be easier to remember what you need to look out for. And I'm going to link a video down below that is really, really helpful in explaining how to kind of look for these things as well. If you get enough practice, you won't need the list in front of you and you'll just be able to spot these patterns without referring to anything. The next one is situational judgment, and it was being trialled when I first did the UKCAT, like I said, and the second time I did it I got a band 1. So it's kind of hard to give tips for this one because it's about real life situations and it depends on your judgment. The only tip I can give is, when you're practicing and you get a question wrong, note down the questions that you got wrong. Try and go through them all, because you might spot a pattern, or you might just figure out where you're going wrong in answering these questions. And when you go to the actual examination, you'll kind of remember these scenarios that you got wrong, and you'll remember why you got them wrong, so you'll be able to pick the right answer in the actual thing. And it will just help you in the future in making good judgments as well if you practice hard enough. This one is decision analysis, and I really like this one, so I don't know why they got rid of it. It's not going to be in the 2016 UKCAT. Initially I recorded what the old decision analysis is about, and then I thought there's no point talking about that as it's being replaced by decision making this year. So they're only testing it out this year, so it won't be contributing to your final score. It does look a little bit confusing, as you can get a range of questions, some that refer to text, some refer to diagrams, some refer to graphs. On the website it says some questions will have 4 answer options but only 1 correct answer. Others will require you to respond to 5 statements by placing a yes or no answer next to each statement. I'm so sorry if the sound quality of that was really bad, but I just had to put it in the video, and now we can go back to me speaking on camera. So yeah, anyway, it's not in 2016 UKCAT, so we'll move on. So general tips I would give for the UKCAT. I usually start revising for an exam about like a month or 2 before. So what I did was 2 months before the UKCAT, I joined Medify. It's amazing. It's got a bunch of exam questions on the computer screen, so it's really similar to what you're actually going to be doing in the real thing. And I would recommend using a mouse when you're doing the practice question, because it gives you a bit of a feel of what it's going to be like when you actually go into that setting. 1 month before, I used the book How to Master the UKCAT, and I'll put a link down below for Medify and that book as well. I did try using other books such as 600 UKCAT practice questions, but I found that I didn't really like the layout of it, and the questions are a bit too difficult compared to the actual thing. So yeah, 1 month before, I continued with Medify and also started using the book as well. So you can do it however you want, this is just how I did it. So the first month I would say don't do it under timed conditions, just relax and use that month to kind of actually work out what the UKCAT is and kind of understand all the different sections of it, and learn how to actually approach the questions. A few weeks before the test, I'd say start to time yourself. The books and the websites have a mock section, so I would save that section for when you're really ready and you've really understood all the different sections, and then start doing the mock questions under timed conditions. If you finish all the questions, I'd say go back and do the ones that you got wrong. It definitely helped me because it helped me work out what my weak spots were. Okay, so top tips for when you're actually in the room doing the UKCAT. Skip questions as you don't have enough time, and you can save a few minutes at the end to just come back to them and then just guess and click on anything, and you've got a bit of a chance of getting it right. So like I keep saying, don't dwell on a question because you literally have no time at all to do this. Make use of your whiteboard, write down all your thoughts on that. But obviously not essays, just literally scribbles. Like every multiple choice question, learn how to eliminate the answers. If you come down to 2, you've got 50-50 chance that you'll get it right. So it's just down to technique. Just learn technique and learn how to eliminate answers and learn how to just guess and move on. I would say I found the books and the other resources a bit harder than the actual thing, so that's a good thing. Like I said, I'll put the link down below, but my point is that you don't need to stress out because it is difficult, but it's not impossible, so chill. I know I've been through everything, but I'd also recommend going on the UKCAT website and any other websites you can, and just like trying to get an understanding of what this is and what it's for. Please do not forget your ID on the day. One of my friends did this and I'll just never forget it because I cannot imagine the stress you would go through if you forgot something like that on the day of your UKCAT. And lastly, I would say don't pay for courses like Kaplan and things like that because I think it can be done on your own. I basically paid £60 to go on this little talk about UKCAT, and I thought maybe they'd offer tips and things like that, but literally all they did was go through what the UKCAT is, and it says that on the website, so it's like a real waste of money. And I just feel like if you've gotten this far that you're applying to dentistry, I'm sure you're capable of doing the UKCAT by yourself. But yeah, if you want to do that and you can afford it, then yeah, go ahead. But I just say, like, if you work hard and just understand what the UKCAT is, you can do it by yourself basically. So if you don't get a good score, it's not the end of the world. Like I said, some universities don't even look at the UKCAT, and some universities don't care about it as much as they care about like the personal statement and the interview and things like that. So don't worry if you don't get a good UKCAT score. You can always apply to the universities that don't look at the UKCAT or don't have a high cut-off point, or you can always try again next year. Thanks for watching. I know this must have been a really long video and it was really hard for me to try and remember everything I needed to say. If you liked the video, then let me know. If you didn't like it, then let me know as well. If you have your own UKCAT tips or any links that you can provide to help others, that would be really great. Just comment them below, or if you need any help, then just email me or leave a comment. And good luck on your UKCAT.